Hello there and welcome back to an exciting episode of Check with Tech, your guide to all things tech. I'm your host Yaseen Azzam, and let's get started, shall we? First things first, we have the Snapdragon 865. Now Qualcomm every year, they announce their new processors for phones, laptops, basically any device that needs one. So with upgrades over the years, the Snapdragon 865 doesn't disappoint at all. It has 25% faster CPU and GPU than the 855, and it's actually has the same manufacturing process used by Apple and their A13 Bionic chip. So this is, you might feel it a little bit familiar quality-wise, and that's a good thing. Both of them are excellent. And now the CPU core of the actual processor has been upgraded as well. Last year was the Kiro 485 in the 855, and now here it's going to be the Kiro 585, which is basically faster, better processing, all of that. But what also interests me is what it does with the camera. It now has a new signal processor called the Spectra 480. Basically, what it does is it helps make the pictures real, like they exist. So now it has a new bandwidth of 2 gigapixels per second. Okay, that's a lot, and it actually helps cameras with up to 200 megapixel lens to record video for 8K resolution at 30 frames per second, which is smooth, but not smoother than this. 4K resolution at 120 frames per second. That is insane. 8K, and I don't know a lot of phones that actually have 8K screens, but if they do exist next year, then this will be really worth it. And now let's talk about slow motion or high speed. I don't know what you like to call it. And now on my daily driver, the Galaxy S9, you can shoot up to 960 frames per second at around 720. That's also in the 865, but here's the difference between them. On the S9 or the Snapdragon 845, it's just a short burst. Like it's just 5 seconds and that's it. Trust me, I tried. But now in the 865, it actually can record 960 frames at 720p for around 10 minutes. Wow. To be honest, that's much better than the 845 or 855, and that is a lot. And one of the key features that actually caught my eye is the fact that now you can update your graphics drivers just the same as updating an app. So for example, if there's a new game with a new graphics driver launches, your phone would actually support that with the 865. So I'm actually super hyped of what's coming next. It's almost unbelievable. Like, the features coming really quickly. And some old companies, like, they try to struggle. They're struggling with making a comeback to the phone industry, specifically Nokia, Motorola, and others. But now Motorola might have a way to go back on top again. Here it is. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the Motorola One Hyper. Basically, it's Motorola's One lineup, but it has a lot of features at a really cheap price. Now it has a 6.5-inch display with a 90% screen to body ratio. But don't worry about that. It has no notches, no punch out, nothing. It's notchless. It has a pop-up camera. What do you expect? And it has a 4000 milliamp hour battery with 45 watts of USB-C charging, which is actually faster than most flagship $1,000 phones right now. I mean, to this day, I still can't imagine that the iPhone 11 Pro Max only has 18 watts. But, yeah. But, of course, with a budget phone like this, there has to be, something to ruin it. And that, to be honest, is the specs in my opinion. 128 gigabytes of storage. Okay, that's actually more than enough for me, but some people actually prefer 256. Some people actually buy 512 and 4 gigs of RAM. You can't play most games because Snapdragon 675 not the best, but then again, it's the price tag is $400 and it has a headphone jack. What do you expect? And of course, with a not so powerful processor, you get more battery. So Motorola promises at least 38 hours of continuous use on one charge. And thank God that the headphone jack still exists, because I mean, some people just aren't ready for the wireless earbuds thing. I also don't like them that much. But the cameras are actually one of the standard things from this phone. It has a 64 megapixel lens, a 16 megapixel still camera, and an 8 megapixel 118 degree ultra wide lens on the back. And it has a pop-up selfie camera that is also 32 megapixels. Sure, it has a fingerprint reader on the back. Basically, what you're getting is the same as what you get with OnePlus 7 Pro, except the OnePlus 7 Pro is better in almost every way. But not the price. $400 is a considerable amount for a phone like this. To be honest, would I buy it? Absolutely not. The performance and the RAM just isn't enough for my daily use. But I can see someone who's on a really tight budget getting this phone and being completely satisfied with it. And now let's head over to Google. To be honest, I feel like every time I record an episode for this podcast, something with Google has to come up. But that doesn't mean that it's bad. Sometimes it could be good, it could be bad, and it could be delicious. And now all of us know Cyber Monday, don't we? You don't? Okay, it's basically Black Friday, but for electronics and gadgets. And if you actually bought a Pixel 4 or a Pixel 4 XL on Cyber Monday, which is basically last Monday on the recording of this episode, you would get the phone delivered on a Domino's pizza box. It sounds weird, but hear me out. They're basically trying to convince you into trying their phone, because actually it was on sale on Cyber Monday, and if you actually ordered it, it will come with your phone, a special edition Pixel 4 case, and a medium 12-inch hand-tossed cheese pizza. I'm kind of hungry right now, so I might order one of these, but then again, I am a couple of days short, so unfortunately I can't. But I mean, the box is looks really good from the pictures, and of course there's a separate box for everything else. The SIM card pin, the charger, the manuals, basically everything. But this is actually a really good idea because, hey, people like pizza, people like pixel, let's put them together. That was a nice touch. You remember, guys, when I talked about the clamshell foldable Samsung, kind of like the Motorola Razr? It was when Samsung had their 50th anniversary. It was a concept, after all, a new form factor and everything. Samsung made a video about it. But now, a report says that it could be launching in February. And that's not crazy. But what is crazy is the price. Now hear me out. You have the Motorola Razr around $1,500. You have the Galaxy Fold for around $2,000. And you have that new clamshell Samsung Fold for $840. Let me say it again, $840. That's basically an iPhone. And there are leaks saying that the bigger display will be 6.7 inches and the smaller display will be only 1 inch. I think the Motorola Razr had a bigger one. I think it was 1.7. I'm not sure. But then again, $840 is a pretty nifty price for a phone like that. So far we don't know anything. All of these are just leaks and rumors. But if there is anything, I will tell you about it. Okay, in the iPhone 11 Pro or 11 Pro Max, whatever you choose, you can turn on or off location services for specific apps, even including the actual important apps that you find on your phone, even all the system services. But now there is a report saying that even if you toggle to never for everything, unless you keep using location services for no reason, it actually will continue to take your location for some reason. And Apple admitted this, and they actually replied that this is expected behavior. Okay. But then again, an Apple engineer said, we do not see any actual security implications. It is expected behavior that the location services icon appears in the status bar when location services is enabled. The icon appears for system services that do not have a switch in settings. Okay, but they should have at least warned us when you actually go to the settings. But as long as it's not hurting anyone or putting anyone in danger, I'm sort of okay with this. But then again, you did turn off location services for a reason, did you? I mean, I find it weird. But then again, I am not sure, and who am I? I don't work in Apple, so I'm not sure if they actually use any information for anything bad. Here's a weird one. Apple is now claiming that there are reports of 13-inch MacBook Pros shutting down unexpectedly. Why? I mean, for consolation, Apple did send them a troubleshooting guide to fix all this, but why does it keep shutting down? I mean, of course, it's a malfunction on the code or something. They installed the program. I have no idea. But here's what you gotta do if your 13-inch MacBook Pro does actually keep shutting down for absolutely no reason. Make sure that the battery is below 90%, connected to a charger, close all applications, let it sleep and charge for at least 8 hours. And then after the 8 hours or more, you have to make sure that it has the latest version of Mac OS. And if it still keeps continuing, you should contact Apple for repairs. Now, 8 hours seems to be a lot. Unless you're going to fall asleep, then that's basically a nap and that's it. But I don't know why it keeps shutting down. I thought that Apple could have fixed that with a software update. But then again, okay, I don't have a MacBook, so I don't have that problem. But a lot of people do, and a lot of people use them like 24/7. So it's weird when they find out that it keeps shutting down randomly for no reason. And now again, I cannot stress this enough. If your laptop does have that exact same problem, I just told the guys, I'll say it again. Make sure that it's below 90%, connect it to a charger, close all open applications, and then let it sleep and charge for at least 8 hours. After those 8 hours or more, make sure that the MacBook Pro is running the latest version of Mac OS. And if it still keeps continuing, you should contact Apple for repairs. And I don't know what else to say, because there really isn't anything else to say. It's weird, for sure, and it could be a problem for some people. But all I know is at least Apple is trying their best, and that's it. And that does it. And that is this week's episode of Check with Tech, your guide to all things tech. Thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. Make sure to check out the other episodes, and don't be afraid to leave your review on Apple Podcasts. As always, this is Yaseen Azzam signing out. See you next weekend.